This week on Charger Bulletin News, celebration of life for two students following heartbreaking news, updates within USGA, and a new coordinator for leadership and diversity and inclusion joins the campus community, right here on Charger Bulletin News. Hello and welcome to Charger Bulletin News. I'm Elisa Broche.
And I'm Emily Lavoie. Let's get into this week's top stories. In a Saturday email from Dean of Students, Ophelia Rowe Allen, the campus community received news of another tragedy within the campus community, the death of Martin Flores. Flores joined the university community in fall of 2021 and was pursuing a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology. He was set to graduate with his degree this spring. Mo Kayer, a faculty member of the psychology department who taught Flores in multiple classes, said in a statement that, quote, "To know Martin was to love and admire him and his being. He was a joy to have in the classroom and he was hungry to learn. He was highly engaged in class discussions and he lifted our classes. I will, especially, never forget his distinct sense of humor," end quote. According to Kayer, Flores was an avid cyclist and had recently expressed that he might join a bicycle firm to apply the skills he had built during his studies. Flores was a member of the Bradley Street Bicycle Co-op's Volunteer Advisory Board, which held a memorial to celebrate Flores on Saturday afternoon.
The university community is holding its own celebration of life for Flores in conjunction with the celebration of life that is being held for Sri Ram Kaldini, the graduate student who passed away on January 31st. The celebration of life for both students is taking place in the Beckerman Recreation Center at 3:30 p.m. and is hosted by the Division of Students Affairs. Grief counseling for the university community member is available through counseling and psychological services. The Dean of Students office is also available via phone or email, and faculty and staff members can access support through the Employee Assistant Program. The Charger Bulletin joins the Dean of Students in extending condolences to Martin's family's friends, classmates, and professors.
This past Friday, former USGA President Sania Brini stepped down from her position due to personal medical reasons. A motion to accept her letter of resignation was approved. Cora Cogiel, former Vice President of Operations, has been appointed interim president of USGA. In her first statement as president, Cogiel thanked Brini for her work in the position and said that, quote, "Her compassion and understanding throughout her time as president has had a positive impact on the e-board and student body as a whole," end quote. Cogiel requested that Brini be granted privacy in her recovery. In another motion to new leadership, Darby Brown, former senator for Women in Sports, ran for senior vice president. After RSOs took the opportunity to question Brown, the appointment was also approved. Currently, the positions of Vice President of Operations and Vice President of Community, Advocacy, and Diversity are actively accepting applications. To apply for either position, you must have completed at least 27 credit hours and hold a 2.75 GPA. Motions for appointment to these positions will take place at the USGA General Meeting on March 3rd. For the rest of the story, head over to chargerbulletin.com and read our latest in campus news.
Need assistance in getting involved on campus? The Myatt Center for Diversity and Inclusion and the Center for Student Engagement, Leadership and Orientation has appointed a new coordinator for leadership. Timothy Prince, originally from Long Island, New York, has joined Charger Nation. Within his position, he will assist in planning the first-year leadership experience, student orientation, advising, and registration. Prince will also oversee the Board of Multicultural RSO and offer leadership skill-building opportunities. Prince's original interest in joining the Charger community was to help foster student engagement. He wants students to strive for and hold leadership positions while growing within them. Prince said, quote, "I really want students to be more confident in their leadership positions. When you get to the last stage, there's nobody else you can turn to but yourself, so you can really get to learn more about yourself. Really good transferable skills for resumes in the future," end quote. Prince is eager to become more ingrained within the campus community, and we welcome him with open arms. If you're interested in meeting Prince, you can schedule an appointment with him through Navigate or email him at tprince@newhaven.edu. Now we'll go to Will King with this week's sports. What do you have for us, Will?
Thanks, guys, and welcome to the Charger Sports Report. My name is Will Hink. Let's get into it. The basketball Northeast 10 playoffs began with a home doubleheader for the Chargers. The women's team faced Franklin Pierce in the first round, and they were looking to continue their dominant form in the first half. However, defensive issues in the second half cost them the game as they lost 57-49 after leading at halftime. The men's team came up after them with a game against American International. After stumbling out the gate, the Chargers regained their footing and took a late lead in the first half, after which they never looked back. Senior forward Ty Perry put up 19 points in the effort. 2 days later, the men's basketball team welcomed their rivals at Southern Connecticut. The Chargers dominated this matchup to win 75-59 and move on to the Northeast 10 semifinals tonight against Southern New Hampshire in New Hampshire. Junior forward Devontre Thomas scored 21 points to help push New Haven ahead. The baseball and softball teams began their seasons last week with a series of games in North Carolina. The baseball team went 2-2 in this stretch. Their opening games against Wilmington resulted in 2 losses for the Chargers. Both games were decided by a difference of 1 run and featured an early Charger lead that was overcome by the opposition. The Chargers would then pick up the pieces and win their next 2 games against Chestnut Hill and Malloy. They'll be staying in Myrtle Beach for the next week's non-conference matchup against Bridgeport. The softball team dropped their first 3 games of the season against Chewayne and Frostburg. The team struggled defensively as they gave up 32 runs and had 9 errors over these games. The Chargers will have some time to rest and recover before continuing play, so we'll see if they can adjust and adapt to these issues. That's it for this week's Charger Sports Report. I'll see you next week. Now for the Entertainment Report with Sadara Funches. What's going on this week, Sadara?
Thanks, Will. On Saturday, February 25th, Queen Latifah hosted the 54th NAACP Image Awards. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or NAACP, hosts this event to honor outstanding representation and achievements for people of color in motion pictures, television, music, literature, and activism during the 2022 calendar year. Angela Bassett was the name heard throughout the night as the actress took home 3 trophies: Outstanding Actress in a Drama Series for 911, Supporting Actress for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and the biggest award of the night, Entertainer of the Year. Later in the night, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade were honored with the NAACP President's Award for their philanthropic efforts benefiting LGBTQIA+ youth. Before leaving the stage, they delivered a powerful speech on Black trans equality. Quote, "I want to take this moment to publicly speak to our daughter Zaya," Wade said, addressing the camera. "Zaya, as your father, all I wanted to do was to get it right. I've sat back and watched how gracefully you've taken the public scrutiny. Even though it's not easy, I watch you walk out of that house every morning as yourself. I admire how you've handled the ignorance in our world," end quote. Union concluded by calling for a new era of activism for the lives of Black trans people to the crowd, asking, quote, "Will we fight for some or will we fight for all of our people," end quote. Union emphasized that, quote, "The intersection of Black rights and the rights of LGBTQIA, trans, and gender non-conforming people continue to be rough. That's a huge understatement. Even as we demand equality at the top of our lungs, we consistently fail to extend our advocacy to protect some of the most vulnerable among us," end quote. After 23 seasons of judging on NBC's hit show The Voice, Blake Shelton, the only coach to appear on every season since the show's premiere in 2018, has shocked many by announcing that he will be hanging up his hat as a coach, making season 23 his last. Shelton shares that he had been considering leaving since the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, but credited The Voice for changing his life by allowing him to meet his wife, Gwen Stefani. The two first met in 2014 while Shelton was coaching for The Voice and got married in 2021. You can tune into Blake Shelton's final season of The Voice this Monday, March 6th at 8 p.m. on NBC. And on Sunday, February 26th, Jeremy Parsons and Janine Rubenstein hosted the 29th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards. These awards honor the best achievements in film and television performances for the 2022 calendar year. A24's film Everything Everywhere All at Once won 4 major awards and broke the record for the most wins for a single film. It was a historic Sunday night for Michelle Yeoh and her co-star Ki-Koo Kwan at the SAG Awards. Yeoh became the first Asian Best Actress film winner in the SAG history for her portrayal of Evelyn Wong, while Kwan became the first Asian Best Supporting Actor film winner for portraying Wayman Wong. That's all for entertainment this week. I'm Sadara Funches. Back to you at the desk.
Are you interested in conducting a research project as part of the Summer Undergrad Research Fellowship? Over the course of 10 weeks, you could spend your summer working on a research project as a fellow in the program. The highly competitive SURF program supports a limited number of undergrad students. If you're looking for hands-on and in-depth research opportunities, this is for you. During the course of this program, participating students are not required to be on campus, but those who need to conduct lab projects in campus labs can apply for housing over the summer. All pre- and post-lab work is expected to be done virtually. Online applications to the program are due by noon on March 20th, and students are encouraged to contact potential mentors and begin preparing proposals as soon as possible. Details about application requirements, how to identify a faculty mentor, required seminars, and other aspects of this program are available on the surf page on My Charger.
Coming up next, recaps of the Carhartt Fashion Show, Incendio Das Project's Step Up or Step Out event, and a new employee wellness program begins. But first, we head to Justin Coviello with Student Life. What's going on this week, Justin?
This past Wednesday, March 1st, the Dean of Students' office held the 4th rendition of their Courageous Conversation series on Zoom, open to the entire student body. This conversation was titled Shine a Light on Anti-Semitism and was specifically geared towards anti-Semitism on college campuses. This topic is especially relevant now, with last Saturday being declared an anti-Semitic day of hate by far-right extremist groups. It is becoming increasingly important that we must be proactive in fighting discrimination and standing in solidarity with our campus community and the community at large. If you ever witness a bias incident or are the victim of one, reach out to the Maya Center for Diversity and Inclusion or use the university's reported service that can be found on My Charger. And if you ever need someone to talk to, make an appointment with counseling and psychological services. Stay tuned to the Dean of Students' office's email, deanofstudents@newhaven.edu, for future Courageous Conversations. And tonight, March 2nd, USGA will be hosting a tea time event from 8 to 9:30 in the Moulton Lounge. The event was organized by Kelsey Davis, Senator for African American and Black students. Tea time is an event for students meant to help them talk about their issues, struggles, or air out their grievances in a safe space. Students will also be given the opportunity to share their thoughts anonymously through a Google form, which will be provided, and drinks and snacks will also be offered.
Last Friday, the German Club students showed up to see their peers walk the runway at the Carhartt Fashion Show. To end Engineers Week at the university, 8 contestants showed off their take on the Carhartt products, which are regularly worn by the university engineering students due to their strong durability while working with heavy-duty materials. The contestants were Raymond Felice, a senior civil engineer major, Kayfred Newman, a senior chemical engineer major, Tony Varvaro, a senior computer engineering major, Dan Tucci, a senior forensics major, Ian Rubin, a senior mechanical engineering major, Nike Mayers, a senior civil engineering major, Sebastian Silva, a senior mechanical engineering major, and Kendall Barrow Spencer, a senior chemical engineering major. Not only did the contestants show off their Carhartt fashion, but other sections of the night included a performance by the Miss Majorettes and a Q&A session facilitated by the evening's host, Darlie DeCohen Jr., a senior mechanical engineering major. At the end of the night, winners were announced. Third place went to Robinson, second place went to Silva, who won a Carhartt beanie, and first place went to Varvaro, who won a Carhartt hoodie. For more details on the Carhartt show, read the full article either online or pick up a newspaper in one of the blue boxes on campus.
The Incendio Dance Project held the dance party through their Step Up or Step Out event in the German Club last Friday night. Admissions for the event were $2 for UNH students and $5 for alumni or non-UNH guests. The proceeds went to donations for Alex's Lemonade Stand, which is an American pediatric cancer charity. Katia Rodriguez, a senior criminal justice major and vice president of IDP, said, quote, "We figured the best way to get people to come out is have a party scene," end quote. WNHU had a DJ table at the center stage to provide music for attendees and for each dance club to showcase their routines. The K-pop dance group was among one of the groups that performed. The Multicultural Greek Council also attended the event to show support for IDP and the charity. If you would like to donate to Alex's Lemonade Stand and learn more about the charity, go to alexslemonade.org.
A new employee wellness program kicked off on Wednesday, hosted by the Office of Human Resources. This program is for employees to, quote, meet up with a colleague for a weekly walk through campus, end quote. Participants can meet at the Charger statue on Wednesday from 12 to 12:30 p.m., and in instance of inclement weather, participants can use the track in the Beckerman Recreation Center. University ID and stickers are required, and non-members at the facility will be required to complete a one-time registration. For questions about membership at the Recreation Center, you can email chargerrec@newhaven.edu. For any additional information about this or any other employee wellness program, you can email the Office of Human Resources at officeofhumanresources@newhaven.edu. That's all the time we have this week.
You could check out the latest Charger Bulletin newspaper on chargerbulletin.com or in newsstands around campus.
Stay up to date by following us on social media at Charger Bulletin News.
And check out our link tree for access to the Horseshoe magazine.
Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Elisa Broche.
And I'm Emily Lavoie. See you next time on Charger Bulletin News.